What's up guys, it's Drac. We're over here at Spielwarenmessen, which is a butchered version of Toy Fair in German. We're in Nuremberg, pretty old city, lots of history there, but we're in a giant warehouse for trade show time. And we found our way over to the dartzone booth. We have two videos to make, but we're gonna start with the smaller of the two, and that is gonna be with the new Aeon Pro X. And there's a lot go over here, so I'm gonna try and catch it all. But effectively coming out mid-April. This is going to be at the $25 price point, and it's sort of like Walmart is refreshing. So if you really love the old Aeon Pro, then you might want to pick that up. This looks like the packaging for the European market because it's got the dartzone Max down here. But we're going to talk less about this and more about this. So this is cranking in at 150 FPS, which is a slight bump, about 20% upgrade off of what the original Aeon Pro was doing. It's also just got a full ergo overhaul, and that's exciting to talk about in and of itself. So I like this box because it shows you that we're still doing the multi-magwell, but you know, this is dated at this point. It's 4 years old. It's not a surprise that the industry is moving forward. 4 years removed, there are a few upgrades. First off, done with the multi-magwell. We are a pure half-length setup in here, and interestingly enough, this is not the usual dartzone magazine. I'll bust their chops a little bit. It feels like every new blaster comes with a new magazine. However, this might just be the best of the bunch, and I really liked this one over here that shipped with the Omnia, because I liked that it had curvature to it. It had good ergo on it. I assume it's cross-compatible, which is nice, but this is still like taking flats from like full-length magwells, and there's a lot to love there, but there's a ton to love here, which is this is basically an injection molded, slightly improved Talon. It's got a base plate on it. It's got texturing. I can't tell if it's just like two different mold patterns on here, but you've got the front is narrow, the back is thicker, and this is effectively just a Talon magwell at this point, which is pretty exciting. It's also got a good clean action here. We've got that sweet blaster Asmar. Why would you need two magazine releases for a single magwell? Well, it's got your AK style like rocker mag release if that's your style, or you can come in here and grip this one and gravity drop. And I kind of dig that. Now you're gonna need slightly longer fingers if you want to use your middle to pull that down, but pretty spicy, pretty clean. Let's walk over here to the range. I will mention this ships with an insertable physical 1, 2, 3, 6. Woo. It's a Scar injection molded with 6 lines on it. No rollers on this one, but it doesn't have to have them. Now, interestingly enough, you saw me dropping the magazine multiple times. It's already got the skinny pusher technology built in. You can prime the blaster. Whew, it's a stiff prime, and still drop the magazine with one in the chamber. So that's made possible by the barrel being down here for the chambering, but the plunger is slightly higher. So a little bit of a different vibe than the original mechanism. And of course, we've got pseudo pick rail. It might be actual pick rail on both sides here and up top. Comes with one very minimalistic iron sight up top. The prime is pretty beefy. Feels beefier than the one on the original Aeon. I dig that. Safety, S for safe, F for fire. Pretty cool. And then this is an incredibly comfortable grip by virtue of being a mil spec. I'd have to pop it off to figure out what's going on there, and maybe we'll get the chance in the not too distant future. But I assume that if this comes off, there's going to be a bolt in here so that you could put anything that you wanted on. But let's put a few down range at 150 FPS. It should be sending them pretty quickly into this admittedly kind of tight booth space here, but that's pretty sight. See, somebody's beating me to all these bullseyes. They're pretty worn in. What about bottom left? Pretty good. I mean, at $25, this is pretty unreal in terms of what it's accomplishing at the market. I mean, I think that when the original Aeon and Nexus came out, it was pretty definitive. The $25, $50 secondary and primary price point was like, wow, you could build an entire loadout for less than $100. But the fact that this comes with a hobby grade magazine, lots of features, plenty of performance in it. I think just overall, an incredibly solid secondary being brought to the market. And, it's going to be out in April, so you don't have to wait too terribly long to get after it. I guess of note, as long as we're in this video, and we'll probably mention it in both, I love the Solo. This packaging is so clean, but they've also changed up the packaging for the Pro Darts. They're now like a little ammo tray. So also getting a little more mil spec. You could set this on a bench or in your staging area, whatever wars you're at. And you don't have to worry about them getting crushed as easily because this is an injection molded plastic case that holds all 100 darts. And I guess it'll help you kind of keep count of them too, because they're rows of 5 staggered back and forth. Anyway, I dig this. This is a big upgrade, especially from the one that was at Target, where it was like a tube of plastic with a piece of foam inside. But that is our first look at the Aeon Pro X. There are a lot of things that I dig about this. Of note, this is the European model, or the pre-production model. There's a very solid chance that by the time this one makes it to the States, instead of being purple with orange mag, it's going to be orange with purple magazine. So I think that'll be pretty handsome, particularly since in the US market, you want your pistols to look a lot more like this, just for a litany of different reasons. But I also dig that they're doing a brand new kind of printing on here. So as opposed to the skins printing, the almost direct to product printing, this has like real texture on it and layering, which is an interesting kind of value add. I don't know where they'll go with it or what the limitations of this technology are, because this is honestly my first time seeing it, but it is very interesting how the printed portion of the blaster has texture, the almost pseudo carbon fiber here, and then these nubbins are built up by an ordinal of millimeters. It's almost like 3D printed ink. The camo pattern as well, each different pattern has a slightly different thickness and height to it, which I just think is nice. It'll be interesting to see if you could do an entire blaster that way. Clearly this is non-structural in nature, but pretty interesting. It'll be cool to see where that goes from here. I think that covers my my hot take on the Aeon Pro X. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, Dusseldorf for all of those things, but we will provide a few more pieces of content pretty soon, rapidly. We're going to turn around and film this one next, because I think while this is definitely the most exciting from like a get into the hobby perspective, this is the nobler of the two from a competitive perspective. So looking forward to talking about that in the next one. Much love, blast on, Drac out.